Today we're going to upgrade the brand new Tinkercad House Smart Shape, so let's get cracking. This is Tinkercad.com. It is the absolute easiest way to learn computer-aided design. Today we're going to start by simply hitting Create New 3D Design. I like to start by naming projects. I'm going to call this Smart House. And if you've never used Tinkercad before, here are my day one tutorials. They're a fantastic way for you to get started. Today we're going to simply move down to codeblocks shapes and we're going to bring out the smart house. Now this is really cool. You can drag the handles to change the depth, height, width, roof height. Make the house look however you want, but check it out. It's a solid piece. I want to adjust this so that it has walls built into the code. Check it out, adjusting it is this easy. We're going to simply visit the user's profile. Note you can do this for any user and learn a lot about what they create. Of course, we start with 3D designs, but we're going to switch to the code blocks. The one we want to modify is the house with size controls. And check it out, it's been set to copy and tinker. Of course, don't forget the golden rule of Tinkercad, give a reaction before you copy and tinker. But once we do that, we have our very own version of the code to play with. Now let's quickly check out how the code works. You can do slow or you can do fast play. I'm going to do fast play. And we've got a simple house. Once again, I wanted to have walls cut out. If you have not done code blocks, you can check out my code blocks playlist right here. If you have played with them a bit, you can spot things like this cube is what makes the house. And then these are the awesome variables that have been added to change its size. The inspector is where these little parts get their numbers. I'm going to simply show you how to add our own variable. We're going to get one over here by hitting create, and we're going to call it wall width. And hit create. That variable now exists, but we've got to put it to use. Well, all we're going to do is take this cube and make a copy of it. We'll turn it into a hole, and then when the parts group, we'll have the wall size. Check this out. I want to copy these two pieces right here. So what we do is we break it apart. Now I can right click and I can duplicate them. I'm going to move the other parts down here out of the way and reconnect that. That way we've got the parts in order. Notice it does the building, the roof, sets the size, makes the color, and then it groups them before adding the roof. We're going to cut in this hole right after it does this color. So I can break this apart just to show you how this is going to fit in here. Now the thing is we need to change the measurements. We're going to do that with some sweet math. Simply grab one of these math blocks. We're going to take the house width and we're going to drop it in this box. Now we want to subtract the wall size. Well, our wall size is going to be this new variable, but we've got to do two of the wall sizes. So simply bring out another math block, change it to multiplication, and then we need to drop our variable in that hole. Notice when we do this, it's with the left edge of the block. I'm going to put my 2 because the walls are on both sides of the project. Now I can grab the middle and once again drop the left edge in this box. This green line kind of shows us the order of operations where this multiplication will happen before it is subtracted from the wall width. Of course, we need to put this back up in this location here, but let's save some time by duplicating this and throwing out that house width because that variable is already done. Now I'm going to put this in here, and then we can go to the house depth and put it right there. So we've got house width minus the wall width, and we've got house depth minus the wall width. We're going to keep the same height. I'm going to just carry this whole part up. Notice I'm grabbing the middle, and I'm putting the left edge in that length box. So we just took these two simple variables and we made them a little more complex where they're computing that width. Of course, we did make it all a whole. Just like that, our code is built. Now we need to simply add it to the inspector. Hit plus, grab the wall width. We need to pick a minimum. I'm going to choose a minimum wall width of 1. I'm going to choose a max of 5. I'm going to choose a default of 2. And of course I added this is the width of our walls. When we add the controls, it shows up right here. When we move down and hit play, the code completes, and if we look underneath, bang, we have got walls. It's cut out that easily. Want to go to the minimum? Hit play. Our parts rebuild that easily. That's how easy it is to modify the code and make it do what we want. Once again, thanks to Geometricy for creating it. Of course, now we want to click share and we want to make it a code blocks shape. Of course, we need to give it a name. I'm going to call it House V2, now with wall thickness. And when we save the shape and back out to the main Tinkercad work area, I'm going to quickly switch back to my 3D designs. Let's tinker our smart house. Once again, this is the dumb one, but now if we go to your creations, here is Smart House version 2, and this one has the wall width. We can simply click the slider, adjust the sizes, and our house updates immediately. I'm going to click on this one and hit delete. And of course, don't forget the other day I showed you how you can easily add windows and even cut them in and add a fence. Scale the fence up. Notice I'm going to go more pickets, more size, and then I'm going to hold shift and stretch till it fits the way I want. Of course, make sure you watch the video shown here in the bit.ly for how I cut them in an instant and even turned them to stained glass. Wrapping up quickly, let's make sure you picked up a few things. Once again, if somebody shares a codeblocks project, you can turn it into a smart shape. All you've got to do is add those variables as controls, and then bang, you can make something that people can slide the sliders and make something awesome. Of course, I do want to say thanks again to Geometricy for sharing that shape. And of course, if you make something awesome, I would love to have you share it back with me as well. Don't forget, you can always tag your designs with HLMT23, and I check them out every single day. I do quickly want to say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget, there are 3 levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Make sure you also pay attention for those members only post. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. It has a fantastic free messaging area. You can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget, every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe, you're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.